Good evening and welcome everyone again to tonight's official coverage of Round 4 in ASRNZ's 2024 GT3 series. Tonight we are here at the Circuit of the Americas, Cota, whatever you want to call it. This is, I think, the first of the Anyway, it's a change of formats tonight. As usual, all of this has been broadcast to you by MatchFit Entertainment, and tonight we have a couple of special guests, one of them being Rusty Shackelford, who joined us last week, and tonight as well, John McDonald. JB, how are you boys going?
Good, mate. Good, mate. Thanks for having us. It's a pleasure to be back again here in Central Texas, in the beautiful city of Austin, Circuit of the Americas, one of my personal favorites. I know this track gets a lot of hate from drivers, but let's be honest here. Drivers hate it because they get punished for track cuts.
They do. And John, mate, good to have you back, my friend.
Yes, welcome. It's nice to be up here. I see the chairs are still as comfy as they were last time.
Yeah,
and it's certainly a sunny day and a better view up here than in that stuffy race car. So yeah, no, awesome to be up here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, look, good to have you back, John. Oh God, it's been a while. So I'm sure, like you said, the chairs as comfy as we wiped it down a little bit because, to be honest, it was getting a bit mouldy. But
had to get the J-bed stink off it, didn't we?
The J-bed smell of it. So
oozing Tui beer through his pores onto the leather upholstery. We can't have that.
Yes, and beer nuts. So beer nuts? Hang on. Anyway, let's just sharpen this up. We are here at Cota tonight for round 4 for the ASRNZ 2024 GT3 series. We are just sneaking our way towards, I think, must be halfway, Rusty, in the championship.
Yeah, round 4 tonight. A lot of interesting stories to play out. So first of all, what we have to understand with an endurance round here at ASRNZ this season, it's a double points round. So there's twice as much on offer here. And the big drama from this week is that Ethan Cale, the current series leader in the pro standings, is missing this week. So double points mean there is an opportunity here for multiples of people behind him to kind of eclipse him in the field tonight if they perform, you know, when it counts.
Definitely. And do you have the points in front of you there, Rusty? Can we just run through at least the top 10 there, my friend?
God, I did have the points in front of me. Let me find them
again.
Click
the buttons. Click the button.
Like you said, Rusty, Ethan Cale, he has 600 points. So he had a 60-point buffer on Shane Faraday in second there, and John Carter on 533 points. So, like I said, double points on offer this round. Shane is going to be looking to be the fast guy here and capitalise. He has to, as does John Carter. Mossy, he's not far adrift either, 4th overall. So, yeah. Back down the field, Lucas Saar, he's your top of your Pro-Am, sitting 5th overall. Stu Aerosmith, Steve Melling, notice he is not on the grid tonight as well. He's running 2nd in the Pro-Am. Where is Steve-O? That's a big one.
Huge. That's huge for the Pro-Am. Steve-O not being here.
Follow it down, Aaron Enright, Mitchie Campbell, you know, they're in the top 10 there. Philip Davison, Phil Turner, and Kenny Simpson, they're your top of your Pro-Ams running line astern. So I think the form guy at the moment, I've got to say Neville Shields. He's looking really racy in that AM class there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think he's in the Nismo as well, in one of the Datsuns, I think. Neville.
He is, yeah. And Nev's actually been really unlucky. So he's had a couple of retirements. We know that he had that hardware issue last round. So he would actually be hunting around. It's a really interesting battle in the AM class. He would be really hunting around the top of that AM class battle. But if not for a couple of unfortunate incidents in a couple of early races. So
for sure,
double points on offer tonight. It's all back on the table again, isn't it?
Well, absolutely. And like you mentioned, double points. it's a totally different round this week, Rusty and Don. So yeah, things will shake up. It's a good field again here tonight for round 4 at Cota. 27 in for qualifying so far. Oh God, we quite often get maybe one or two slip in late and start from the pit lane. But 27, another good solid field here tonight. Nice sunny conditions, track temps and ambience looking pretty nice for the boys tonight. Not too hot and not too cold.
Well, it's 7 p.m. race start tonight. So what's interesting here is with the Enduro rounds, there's no compulsory pit stop. There's no compulsory stop for tyres. There's no compulsory stop for fuel. If you can make it to the end of the race, and some cars can, if you can make it to the race, the 80-minute race, without taking a pit stop, you will have to probably fuel save at different points. But the temperature is probably going... We're in the middle of the desert here, in the middle of Texas. We're in central Texas. When the sun starts setting, the temperature starts dropping. So it will be interesting. How are you going to manage your tyre pressures from the start of the race to the end of the race? Will there be a dramatic fall off, say, halfway through? Are you going to be monitoring it during, while you're doing your stint? JB, you've won multiple championships here. You've done multiple endurance races. How would you be approaching this race, strategy-wise?
Well, it's interesting. I haven't had my head really too much in the game as of late, but I had a few stats from one of the McLaren drivers, and I knew they would need about a total of 134 litres. So it's interesting, straight up, hearing that some cars can make full distance. So, albeit they can stop, but that's a long ask on the tyre. They're going to have... We know the tyres are probably good for just under that 60-minute mark, I feel, from experience, and when you're really pushing it. So, yeah, it's a big ask to go another 35, 40
odd
minutes on that tyre. So my gut feeling, I'd be looking at that halfway stint. I'd probably fuel a little bit longer than halfway. But
so,
where you roll out after quali and who you're battling at the time if you want to get out and look for some clear air.
Yeah, if you do take tyres, obviously it's a 30-second stop. If you can get an hour's worth, or maybe an hour 10, or push it even a little further with a couple of slower laps, push that fuel load right out, you might only be looking at a 10-second stop if you can short fuel for that last little stint without taking tyres.
Yeah, I still think that taking tyres would be the best option. It's a safest option. Cota has multiple track cuts here. And you're on a knife edge as it is, when your tyres are good. So imagine when you're suffering huge tyre deg, you're going to be in a world of pain if you start picking up more track cuts. So
that's right.
I would play it safe.
Air on safety, gentlemen. Look, the insight already, and we are only in qualifying here, guys. We have got the brains trust here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We got a little under 5 minutes to go. Guys, who have you got your eyes on here at the moment? Obviously, we've got the Vic Chans and the Shane Farados, the Mitch Campbells and the like. But we've got a few new guys and girls, should I say, in there at the moment. 2 podium getters last week, T-Fam and Maddie T. Who's your eyes on in qualifying? We've only got 4.5 minutes to go.
Henderson, 100%. Pro-Am, what's he doing up there?
Wow, punching above his weight or what?
That's amazing. Looks like that Aston is honking. It's flying. We saw Cooley. I don't know where Cooley is in here. He was in the practice session, and that Aston was flying also. So that Aston looks strong. That's where my eyebrows are raised at the moment.
Okay.
Watch Henderson. He's a mover.
Yep. Rusty?
Yeah, if we could maybe perhaps just ride on board right now with Mitchy Campbell. He's about to come around and start a flying lap here, or is he coming into the pits? He's coming into the pits. Okay.
So a couple of the boys, I just noticed they're doing some little practice pit stops. And obviously, it is one of the rules that if you want to get a new set of tyres and go out for another shot at it, you've got to enter the pits. There's no stopping and exiting game. So a lot of these boys rolling back in, new set of rubber, maybe a tyre pressure change or something, and these guys will roll back out and try and pick up another lap or two.
Vic Chan's up by 5/10.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So there's some of the deltas starting to flash already.
He
Vic
will
Chan,
be front row on the grid if he nails this
absolutely,
last 2 turns.
and coming through the final complex of corners here too, Rusty, you're right, and into the final corner now. 5/10 up.
Yeah, we're provisionally looking up at the front row here.
Oh,
aren't
that's
we?
looking close, actually. That is looking close. Let's have a look. Oh, so he's obviously got a track infringement there, guys.
He's cut at the last corner, I think.
Yep, because that was looking green until I think the second last corner, like you're saying, Rusty, just right there in that last little complex. He'll be dirty, but he's out and on track again for another one. Like we mentioned, these few girls and guys in and out of the pits just towards the end of this session. We've got a little under 2.5 minutes to go. Plenty of action as usual, even in qualifying.
Speaking on the new girls and guys, Maddie T and T Fam, obviously a couple of superstars from last week, podiums last week, so welcome to ASRNZ. Currently running P4 and P5 here in this qualifying, both in the pits, so I don't think they'll be back out now with only 2 minutes to go, so they're going to sit on those times. For sure.
Mitch Campbell also, I think he's still out on track, but yes, Henderson in the pit lane.
Crossy just
Jordan
goes to
Moss
P2.
Comes out of nowhere. He wasn't even on my radar there, Rusty, and bam, there you go. P2 with an 05.935. Epic lap. Ashton in the Aston.
Crossy did show good pace, actually, in the practice session. He was second behind Curley after the practice, as was Mozzie. So, yeah, no surprise to see those two boys right up there.
Yeah, definitely. So we got Vic Chan up on his Delta, Ashton up on his Delta, a few boys down the back end as well. Tony Spence and Vaughan Martin, 6/10 up on his time in the Martins. Plastering Ferrari. Who else? We got Darren Green up on his Deltas. Phil Davison and the like, but Steve Crossland still out on track. We've got 50 seconds to go and up on his Delta again, guys.
In the AM class, currently, Kenny Simpson leading the AM class, qualified P15, Nev Shields down in P19, Phil Turner in P20, Phil Davison P22.
So plenty going on in a 10-minute qualifying session. The race hasn't even started, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's see if we can go. Perhaps let's see if we can go on board with Mitch Campbell here. He's starting a flying lap. There's only 20 seconds left of qualifying. Turn 1 here goes deep, goes very deep. Very easy to overshoot there at turn 1 because that exit is blind. He's pulled out of it. He's pulling out of it.
Yeah, we saw the opposite lock there, just a little bit loose mid-corner there as Crossy, who was and is still carrying a 10th up into this final couple of corners here, boys.
Oh, gets a little loose on exit.
Oh, and he backs out of it there. So, look, I think we're going to pretty well call it there with that. Lucas still out on track in the Golf-inspired liveried McLaren. Ladies and gentlemen, please remember to like and subscribe to Matchfit Entertainment. Hit your notifications if you like what you're seeing. Hit the chat box. We love a chat, so get in amongst that. Phil Davison, 6/10 up on his time as well.
I was just going to say, look at Davison. And Phil Davison, he is actually well up, isn't he? 0.6, and he's well in the hunt. He's your AM leader at the moment, so he's really putting his best foot forward at the moment.
Yeah. So nice work through this middle sector of the track. Very complex part of the circuit, actually.
Lucas goes wide and invalidates.
Also, I think that might be Phil Turner. Yeah, just tucked in behind him as well in one of the other Ferraris in behind Davison, should I say. Not up on his time at the moment, but Phil Davison, half a second at least.
It's going to be a strong
poke
lap.
Him up to about, geez, that's going to go right up to about 13th or something.
Yeah, well, looking at the
it's
Turner
dropped a
ahead
bit.
of him.
It's dropped a bit.
He'll improve on his lap time, however. it will still keep him status quo at 22nd.
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. What do we see there, guys? Nathan Henderson on the top of the list, Steve Crossland and Jordan Moss. Geordie, the boss Moss, in third. Didn't see that one sneak in.
I'm actually very surprised about the Porsches being 2 and 3 here. Although I can see why the Porsche would be good. I would have thought the McLaren, for example, would be ahead of the Porsches here. Great work from Henderson. I didn't expect the Aston Martin to be top of the polls here at Circuit of the Americas, but Porsche, like, we've got long straights here, which traditionally the Porsche is not very strong at.
No, definitely not.
But, you know, Porsche really makes its bread and butter out of really slow corners, like hairpins with that traction.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's not a huge amount of that here at Cota. Cota's a funny track. It's half and half, isn't it, JP?
Yeah. Well, that middle sector is quite complex, isn't it? You know, a lot of cutbacks.
Well,
that's
where I thought the Macca would. That's where I thought the Macca would be really strong with its high aero. You know, especially through, you know, those faster turns at the end of Sector 1, for example. So it'd be really interesting to see the sector times of the different cars. But yeah, I'm quite surprised at the Porsches 2 and 3, but fantastic effort, Crossland and Moss.
Oh, for sure.
Well, we need to look at that speed trap then of those cars at that back chute.
That's a good point.
That would be the writing on the wall. But yeah, I agree, Rusty. The Porsche traditionally is not the quickest car in a straight line. However, that infield stuff in part of the lap, it would be very impressive through there. I'd see it being able to put itself in some good passing opportunities at that back part. And especially in turn 1, getting out of there.
Interesting too, guys. Vic Chan qualified P6 tonight. So he's got a little bit of work to do. As we know, Vic Stappen, we do love him here at ASRNZ. Traditionally very hard to beat. So working his way up from P6 in the Bentley, in the Boss Bentley. So he might have the golf clubs in the back, I'm not sure. I can give you a little bit of pit work, pit lane news, guys, just to keep you updated. So Phil Turner has assured me that the pit crew has been working night and day to get his seat reattached to his rig. He was working with a busted rig last week. So the pit crew has come through and Phil Turner is operating on 100% a seat. And also Ethan Cale, who is missing from tonight, I do hear from, you know, various sources that he is out testing different types of racing socks to be prepared for next week. So
okay.
A bit of news to come in there.
So a bit of R&D on the...
It could be Bonds, it could be Calvin Klein, we don't know. There might be a deal to be signed there at some point in the future on the racing sock front.
For sure. Thanks for the update there, Rusty.
Well, I love that stuff. Listen to that, straight from the reporter's mouth. Isn't that great? The socks.
Well, you got to keep on top of these things.
Well, it's a big deal at the moment. We saw it last week. It really did interrupt the race for Ethan Cale.
As the boys... they come around on every Christmas or birthday, you know, the socks. Has he got special undies too? Is there racing undies out there?
What, John, do you?
There would be. I order mine in brown, so we don't have to worry about it.
Just let's clean up, yes.
Exactly.
Okay, as the boys start to roll away on the formation lap here, 120 minutes, round 4 at Cota for the ASRNZ-2024 GT3 Series 1. Oh, look, it looks like a fantastic evening out there. Like Rusty mentioned, 7 p.m. start. You can already see long shadows on the cars now. The track temps will be critical. We've got a current track temp of about 21 and ambient of 20. So that will be in back of mind for these boys. Tyre pressures will be critical here for the opening stanza of this race, guys.
Just one to keep an eye on too. Chris Cooley opted out of qualifying. He's starting from P26 on the grid. I don't expect he'll finish P26, so watch him to come barnstorming through the field as we get through the first part of this race.
Yeah, well,
I tend to agree there too, Rusty. I mean, we saw that practice session in that Curly, he was super quick in that Aston. He was
a bit
nearly
of a rocket.
a good 8/10 to a second quicker than the whole field. So, yep, watch that guy.
Watch that space. Definitely, Curly definitely lightning fast in the Aston. As we've got a good, healthy field here. I think it actually propped up a little bit more to 28 drivers. We got an extra one in, whilst in qualifying, I think the Lachlan Andrews. So a little bit of a late comer to the session. But
Nice
yeah,
to see Damien Jones in there too.
Yeah,
Damien.
In 19th. So yeah, good to see he's found the time to strap in and come on board.
Oh,
one
for
of
sure.
the ASRNZ OGs, isn't he?
Oh, absolutely,
Yes,
absolutely. And obviously, like a lot of it's with, you know, like big work commitments, you know, so obviously real life gets in our way of our virtual life. So, yeah, good to see Damien back. Just tucked in behind Damien Jones, actually, is Neville Shields. So that's a Datsun versus Datsun battle ready and waiting to come. Vaughan Martin and Riley Price just tucked in front of that.
JB, I'm interested, how is Henderson going to approach the start of this race? The Aston, obviously very good down the straights compared to the Porsche. Is he going to try and look after his tyres? If you're in that in one of those Porsches behind, are you going to try and get in front of him early in this race to get track position and try and hold him up a little bit?
Yes, absolutely. Crosby and Jordan Moss, they are no slouches.
Okay.
Season races.
Absolutely.
They will be all over Nathan. So
absolutely.
Nathan eyes forward.
Oh,
and
mate, he's got his work cut out for him with, like you mentioned, Crossy and Jordan Moss. But look who's just tucked in behind: Mitch Campbell, Matty T, and Vic Tan. Matty T and T-Fam, who's just in behind Vic Tan as well. Podium getters last week. The boys ready to go green here at round 4 at Cota for the 2024 ASRNZ GT3 Season 1. The Helicam is super close here. Let's have a look at this. We got a green light. Good clean start. Oh, no, straight away, Crossland with the jump. Mitch Campbell with the jump as well. As they run into one. Geordie with a bit of a touch up the back. Really awkward turn 1. Crossing out in front.
Just back of the field is through clean.
Through clean. Fronto just trying to find his way in behind Aston Hughes. Mitch Campbell just tucking in there in 3rd. So past Geordie Moss there. Rusty as well. Big Chan in front of Matty T. So a couple of position changes there in the first couple of corners. Very, very clean start from pretty well the whole pack here. But definitely some position changes early on with Crossland leading the race. Mitch Campbell in 3rd. Vic Tan in 5th. So a bit of a shuffle with Moss going back, Matty T going back, Ashton.
Oh, we're turning around here.
Oh, here we go. That's Jordan Moss around.
It was Ashton in the Aston.
Oh, no. Ashton struggling to pull that thing up. Jordan Moss will regather.
Down to P20.
Ouch.
Geez, been unlucky
Nathan Henderson
this season, Moss.
now,
Yes.
Nathan Henderson, we are on lap 1, ladies and gentlemen, here for round 4 at Cota. Nathan Henderson passed. Oh no, should I say Mitchie having a crack at Hendo, and Hendo back past.
Back in 8th, 10th, 9th, there's a huge pile up.
Oh, we got Aaron Enright round. We've got T-Fams up in behind, so there's been a bit of a change of positions there. John Carter also in the mix now. So plenty going on in that first lap. Some early position changes, a couple of touch-ups to be expected in such a large field here. Riley Price in 14th, Brad Robinson in the Merc in 13th, Likasar.
Yeah, guys, it looks like Aaron Enright was involved, Kenny Simpson was involved, Phil Davidson was involved. Whatever happened there in the beginning of Sector 3 there on lap 1, definitely took out a lot of runners.
Yep, mid-pack there, guys. So big change up, and that will put a gap in the field here. We quite often see this in lap one with when we see these multiple car altercations. It really gaps the field out as we just pick up on Hendo trying to defend. I think that's Vic Chan in the Bentley there, guys. T-Fam, Mitch Campbell, should I say, out in front. Here we go.
Vic got him up the inside here.
Vic's having a good look, isn't he?
Tricky little bracket area here. That's Shane Frodo just tucked in behind these guys as well.
Yeah,
So Frodo's come from a long way back.
Yeah, look for the Nismo to wind up down this back straight here.
So Frodo's got past T-Fam.
Won't surprise
Bloody
me if,
John
if the
Carter
Nismo gets
and-
both of them here, honestly.
And Matty T. So Frodo on fire here.
So some interesting things that I'm picking up on here.
Great
That
stuff.
Aston was very, very quick on light fuel, obviously through the qualifying and that. But is it a different car with heavier fuel on board? It's just not showing the pace like it was in those early qualifying sessions that were out earlier.
We're reviewing, yeah.
You're right, JB.
Yeah.
He's getting absolutely swamped here at the start of this race. They are lining up and picking him off.
Yes.
So out of the back
Here
of
comes the
Frodo's car
Ferrari.
now. Here comes the Ferrari of Matty T. That's John Carter behind. Just he'll want to come with Matty T. Oh, bit of an
The
awkward
Ferrari
bump off the ripple strip there, but
Yeah.
we'll get back to
That's a
the
hard one.
Kendo's
That
car
corner
here.
that Matty just ran through there, and like that's a corner that invites you to take the inside, but there is a curve there, and if you run too wide, you're going to pick up that cut as well.
So drag race, Matty T, T-Fam, John Carter just tucked in behind. Henderson just got cleared that little bunch of cars, no doubt just because of that little ripple strip incident you were talking about, John. In that corner, just gapped them a little bit, which has given them some breathing space.
And all the while, guys, Steve Crossland and Mitch Campbell are just starting to get away here. 1.8 seconds to get to Vic Chan now.
Yeah, as you would expect. Mitch Campbell trying to stay in touch with Crossy. I just wonder how, as these tyres start to equalise a little bit and the pressures come right, whether Mitch will attack. You know how aggressive Mitch is when he's got that the carrot in front of him, Rusty.
Oh, absolutely. He won't leave anything out there. He won't leave anything to chance.
No,
He'll go
he
for
doesn't.
it.
No, definitely not.
No, you talked about the car 277 of Chris Cooley, who started at the back. He's currently in 10th. He's made a huge amount of positions.
Yeah.
He is lapping in the 207.1s already.
Yeah, and
which
tucked
is
in
as fast
behind.
as the leaders. So,
That's right. He's tucked in behind Riley Price, and it's literally you can see him in camera shot here with while we're actually focused on T-Fam. You can see him in the back of shot. So he has come well through the field, John, like you mentioned, 2/3 of the way through the field pretty well. So plenty going on.
Long race though, isn't it? You know,
It
this
is.
is when they've completed the first lap, and that's always the heart pumper. You know, your heart's racing. You get through. You're just trying not to get spun out or spin someone and get through. And look, the majority of the field have done that. There is that incident that happened at that first lap, and you can see that gap probably from the back of like 15th back.
Mitch Campbell.
Gee, I've got to mention too, Jordan Moss on a hell of a recovery drive early
definitely.
in the race.
Yep.
Back up to P12. He was down to P20
Yeah,
after that incident.
Yeah, nice walk from Geordie there, Rusty.
Absolutely.
So Mitch Campbell passed Steve Crossland out of the T1, had the overlap, had rights to the corner, and like we mentioned, halfway through the last lap, we're just like, we would expect him to see him want to run forwards. Faraday in third, Rusty. My God. He's come from way back as well. Past Chan, past Hendo, past T-Fam, past Matty T, past John Carter.
And he's actually making a little bit of ground too, because that gap was about 2 seconds, and it's down to 1.3 now. So he is making a little bit of ground here on Crossland. The challenge now is for Crossland especially, can you hang on to the back of that McLaren? Make sure you hang on to the back of Mitch Campbell, because you don't know, you know, what's going to pan out later in this race, what the strategies are, when you're going to pit. Just got to hang on to the back of Mitch Campbell's car here and hope for the best. Fodero is fucking flying, by the way.
Yeah.
Pardon me. Sorry, pardon my French. I forgot.
That's okay. That's okay. It's not for children. So, yeah, Fodero on fire. Vic Chan, though, he's just like, I think he wants to crash Fodero's party here, boys. And Nathan Henderson has got a whole bunch of heat behind him. Again, that Aston really not coming up to speed in race trim.
Chan is all over the back of Fodero now. There must have been some kind of mistake. Oh, he's pushing, he's pushing.
So close there. We'll get over the back wing of the Nismo. Just have a look how big this Bentley gets. Oh, a little bit of a slip from Chan out onto the final, that start-finish straight.
Two big cars too, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. So nice work. Looking out of the back of Hendo's car as well. T-Fam, Hendo, one of the OES cars.
So, JB, you were asking about the speed trap earlier in the race. I can tell you we've got a three-way dead heat for quickest car through the speed trap. It is
really?
Chris Cooley in the Aston Martin at 265.
We've got
Chris Cooley in the Aston Martin, 265. Yep. Damien Jones in the Nissan, 265. And, of course, Stu Arrowsmith in the Lexus, 265.
The Lexus.
That Lexus, yes.
It punches hard down the straight, eh?
It really does.
It's useless everywhere else.
Interestingly, what's the next closest car manufacturer? Are they quite close in top speed, or...?
It looks like the next closest, 263, 262. I'm looking at a 259 for the Merc and a 261 for the Bentley.
Yeah, so good 4Ks there, isn't it? So, yeah, they're really making that ground there in the straight line, but those other cars, they'll certainly be handy in that back part of the track there around all the twisty stuff.
The Porsche is 10 in Steve Crossland's Porsche is 10 kilometers an hour slower down the straight than those cars. So he's running at 255 kilometers.
Wow, and sitting in second position. There you go. Just looking, cameras on Tony Spence. It's Arrowsmith giving him all sorts of grief at the moment. Just in front of that, it is the Brad Robinson, Lucas Saar battle. And the battles go on. Ashton in the Aston v Nev Shields. That continues on. And then we have, I think it's Vaughan Martin v... Oh, Vaughan Martin's actually past Riley Price, but then the Damien Jones is also in that little battle as well. Let's get back up the Porty Hen here just for a quick sticky beat, because there is plenty going on. Nathan Henderson, T-Fam into one.
Vaughan Martin in the Pro-Am. Vaughan Martin in the Pro-Am battle, sorry, Paps, has a big opportunity for a big scoop of points here tonight on Steve Melling. You mentioned it during the qualifying session, JB, that Steve-O's not here tonight. As I mentioned last week, racing against Steve Melling myself in the Pro-Am category. He is the champion from season 1 of 2023. He did the clean sweep that season, if I'm not mistaken. Did the Sprint Series and the Enduro Series. He is someone who just turns up every week, puts in consistent laps, and he's very hard to dislodge because he's just always there. He just always does enough. There's not huge highs or huge lows. So tonight for Vaughan Martin to, if he can get a good bag of points here, currently running in P11, if he can shoot around the top 10 somewhere, that will be a massive gap in the Pro-Am Championship that he can bring in.
Yeah, definitely. As we just see purely past Vic Chan, Vic just literally stepped aside and just said, "Here you go, Chris."
Isn't that car flying? That is.
The thing is lightning. We will get out of the back of Hendo's car, because Hendo's been peppered by T-Fam, and you just watch how quick that white and red Aston Martin just jumps on the back of this little battle here. I would say before the final corner on this lap, we will see Chris Cooley fighting T-Fam for position 5.
Gee, carries so much speed through here, doesn't he? I'm just riding on board with Cooley at the moment. You can just see the prowess that this guy's got. He hits every apex. There's millimeters in it, but carries so much speed.
Oh, TFM, like,
So on the
throwing
inside.
the car down the inside.
Henderson
Yeah.
dropping
And makes
again.
it work.
Oh.
And Henderson, no. He's got
Just
nothing.
Cooley just takes that opportunity straight away. And look at that
Immediately.
pass already.
Again, like Rusty was saying, you know, the pace that he's carrying through the corner literally didn't have to step off the throttle and just obliterates Henderson's speed and takes.
So what do you do now, JB? If you're Henderson, do you readdress your pre-race strategy? You started on pole, you find yourself in P6. Do you rethink things, or you just try to get back to the plan, or you just try to knock out Lucas?
Look, he's just going to find his rhythm, and he's clearly just been rattled a little bit here. The cars are coming past him, and he's doing more looking back and looking where his car positioning is, so rather than just getting on with his own lines. So he's just got to find his rhythm. Look, he's got a long stint ahead. You know, you're looking for halfway, so he's just got to probably not get involved. And to be honest, he should understand the speed of Cooley here and almost let him go. So
So we just seen Chan on Henderson. Henderson, like Chan did with Cooley, just let him go. And in the same corner, we just saw Cooley round up TFAM. So Cooley now in 4th position, ladies and gentlemen, and already gapped FAM by a good 4 or 5 car lengths. So moving fairly swiftly as we'd expect. Cooley doing Cooley things. Tony Spence, Lucas Saar, and Stu Arrowsmith hard at it down in the mid-pack.
Update on the AM battle, guys. Nev Shields is having an incredible race, currently running in P14. That incident on lap 1 really hurt Kenny Simpson, battling his way back up to P22 now. But Nev Shields, you mentioned before the race, JB, if he can get a good result here tonight, that'll put him right back in the contention for the AM Championship.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's right, Rusty. He was looking really quick in the practice sessions.
Oh, he just gets tipped actually by Lucas Saar. Sorry to interrupt there, John. I did mention the Lucas Saar Smith Tony Spence battle, but they caught up with Neville Shields and a little bit of a touch set. We might see if we can get a replay. So Nev just is coming into that middle sector of the circuit there. And Lucas, with plenty to think about from behind, maybe just going a little bit deep there. A little bit of a touch, everybody pointing in the correct direction. Carry on, guys.
Yeah, look, if I was Nev here in this situation, and I've got a Pro-Am, you know, a class above this racy, I'd almost consider letting him through, a strategic let through, and just try to hang on to the back of him and just find some good pace. Because clearly it looks like Saar's getting a little bit impatient here behind Nev. Yep. Oh, no, we've got an incident. Nev's off.
No. Let's get a replay on that.
The commentator's curse once again.
Oh, Chihuahua. There you go. Oh, so as they head up into... What is that? Is that 1? Yes. And down into 2. In the replay here.
Actually, really easy at turn 1 to outbrake yourself up there, go wide, and then spin the car. So it's really easy to do.
Just misjudged the direction change in 3 there, unfortunately.
The brick doesn't like changing direction either.
The brick. Cooley, I think, we'll quickly just touch on Hendo, still getting swamped by cars. Matty T now sizing Hendo up as well, but I think Faraday is Cooley's next victim, boys, and we'll look out of the back wing of Faraday's car here as they go round the final corner and across the start-finish line after 8 laps. Cooley looking super strong here at Cota. Perfect conditions here.
Oh, a little loose there from Shane.
Oh, really just pushed a little bit too hard.
It's so, JB mentioned turn 1. It's so easy to overshoot that turn 1 because the exit is blind.
Yeah.
So you never really know how you're going until you get to the top of the hill, you know?
Yeah.
And you might be a little too hot. And, you know, oftentimes you'll find yourself there at the top of that turn one and you think, gee, I can go so much faster through this turn. And next lap you come around and you're going a little too fast. It's one of those.
Yeah, it just begs you, you know? It's just like, oh,
Really
God, you could have done so much better last lap.
And it's also the thing too, because you're braking uphill, you feel like you can brake so much later than you actually can.
And it's also harder to brake on that inside line, especially if you've had a good run out of the final turn against your competitor. You've sized them up, you've made the run, you've got the run, you take the inside line. Yeah, you know, it's just, you're just blind to your braking markers, and there's an over-under always on offer there.
And there's other thing. It's such a delicate turn. There's a little bump there as you come into the braking zone as well that you have to be mindful of, because it can really unbalance the car if you don't hit it properly. There's a lot going on in that turn one.
Look at Maddie. She's really sizing up Hendo now.
Yeah, had a crack there leading onto the straight there. John, you picked up on that. And now sealing the deal at the back end of the straight. Nice work. That is John Carter, just tucked in behind that battle as well. And next car in line, Geordie Moss, which you can actually see in screenshot there, just in the background there, boys. And like Rusty mentioned, what a comeback. Back in 20th, did you say? After a little mishap early, I think in lap 2. So, yeah, nice work from Geordie. Really got his eyes on and definitely got a handle on that Porsche here tonight. Tony Spence, should I just get back to this? It's the Tony Spence, Stuart Aerosmith, Lucas Saar show. These guys have been inseparable.
This is an angry little pack,
but they have changed positions so many times on my leaderboard here, but they're still right beside each other. So you can throw a blanket over these boys.
And I suspect here the problem is that the two McLarens are much faster through the middle sectors of this lap, but the Lexus just burns them down the straight. I think that's what's happening here. I mean, look at it. It steps away. The McLaren can barely keep up here, even in the draft.
Yeah. Yes, as they dip into one, and
very deep from Spence.
Super deep from Spence. Lucky to keep Lucas out. Actually, Lucas nearly got a little bit of overlap there on him, but that is going on hard. Matty T, like we mentioned, past Nathan Henderson. John Carter still in tow. Who we got down the back here? Darren Green with the recovering. Kenny Simpson out of 1. That's Joe Grimmer. I think who's that in front? Damien Jones and Nev Shields are just in front. That's
Oh, who's that off in front?
Hunter went off in front of Shields.
Yeah.
Shields carrying a lot of damage too. You can see that bonnet bouncing around. It's not in a good way.
So, is it Sean Hunter in the Grove Porsche, with a little bit of a mishap there. No contact. Again, Green and Simpson, one to watch at the moment.
Guys, the way this all shakes out, very interesting in the AM class because of Nev Shields' unfortunate incident. This now means that Phil Turner is currently leading the AM class running in this race, and he's followed directly by Phil Davidson, who's only half a second behind. So this is 4th position, and these two guys are battling it out for the championship. I think Phil Turner is currently P1, and Phil Davidson's P1, and Phil Turner is P2.
And guess what the gap was, Rusty? 2 points.
Yeah, 2 points. So these guys are right on it here.
Yeah, Cooley going for second on Steve Crossland. Crossland with a good run out of 1. He knows that corner, keeps the Porsche pointing in the right direction. Cooley showing some intent, weaving behind him, even on the entry to the S's here.
I don't think Crossy's going to make it easy here for Cooley.
Mate, I think the outcome is inevitable. You know, like at the end of the day, Rusty. But like you said, I don't think Crossy's going to make it easy.
You don't have to give it to him.
No,
make him earn it.
Well, he's quick in that thing at the moment. He's doing okay. And look, Mitchell is off because he knows Cooley's coming from way back. You know, like, there's still a lot of racing to go. We are a little under an hour to go. That's Mitch Campbell just past there. Steve Crossland Chris Curley.
Look at the speed
Shane
of this
Faraday.
Aston down the straight.
Unbelievable. And, oh, mate, it's got no answers for it.
It's like it's got DRS, this thing.
Yeah, great. You know, easy when you're in that slipstream and you got the power down that big straight, just to put that car into that spot. So his eyes are now forward, obviously, to Mitch Campbell. So how many laps is it going to take him to pull that in? He's doing,
probably a lot less than what Mitchell would like.
He's about a second a lap quicker, so I'd say within 3 laps, 4 laps.
Yeah.
I was thinking before about Henderson's car, because he did have the same car. He's in the Aston. We know that it's a quick car. So has he got the? He went backwards. Is he carrying a much heavier fuel load from the start? Has he got his tyre pressures wrong, or are they, you know, more in tune for a longer run? Because it's odd to see one car just go so much quicker forward from the pole setter.
It's a very interesting question, JB, because I can tell you at the moment only 2 cars have pitted. That would be Rivers in the Porsche, and Aaron Enright has also made a stop.
As Neville Shields ducks down the inside of the Grove car. And, oh no, he takes Kenny Simpson, actually, I think that is. Is that Kenny Simpson? No, it's not Kenny Simpson. Sorry. Neville Shields. Anyway, he's recovered nicely and just tucked him behind.
Yeah, that was Kenny he just took.
That was Kenny that he just took, yeah.
Yep, Kenny in the red and black Datsun.
Yeah. So,
He's
nice.
a bit of damage on that Datsun too, I think, from perhaps earlier on in the race. So he's in recovery mode now, Kenny. The gentleman racer, as we know and love. So, it looks like Shields is coming in for a pit stop, boys. Got to repair that damage, I think, with 55 minutes to go. You know, sometimes you think about, is it worth repairing the damage or not? 20 seconds of damage here tonight with 55 minutes to go, I think you take it, honestly.
With an hour to go, sometimes you can have a quick check through your HUD and cycle it and think, you know, it's only 3 or 4 seconds, because you can actually check to see how much damage your repair will be, and whether or not it's worth it. And like you say, sometimes a lot of times you just don't bother and you just push on because it's going to take you too long. But 54 minutes to go, why not?
Live in the pit stop here now, we're just watching Nev Shields. I think you have to repair this damage if you are Nev Shields, because that was a very frontal hit on the wall, wasn't it? It wasn't a couple of seconds of side damage. It wasn't a couple of seconds, you know, it wasn't like he nudged someone in the rear. He hit that wall pretty full on directly in front. It's probably really hurting his his straight line speed, which in the Nissan, basically that's all you've got. So I think he's going to repair. Yeah, we're up to 45 seconds here, boys. Yeah. He's repairing.
Yeah, it's on the jacks for a long time there. Thanks, Rusty. You keep in touch with the engineers there. Also, as you were speaking there, I think we've got a drive-through for Lucas Saar, so I suspect that would be a pit infringement. We will get up to the pointy end here just quickly as well, because Mitch Campbell, we called it 3 laps. I think it's been 2.5, boys. And guess who? It's Chris Curley. All over the back of it.
But he's nearly 2 seconds a lap quicker at the moment. His last lap was a 2:05.7. Mitchie's last lap was a 2:07.8. So he's nearly the point of 2 seconds a lap quicker than the leading car. So yeah, no surprises he's pulled him in.
And Mitch with no choice but to let him run down the inside there with a little overlap. Curley with a little bit of a slip on the exit of the corner there, John Boy, that you would have picked up on, which is compromised. They'll run a little bit, but look at them weaving. They're chasing Mitch, tracing draft, looking for the outbreak here. He's going to go deep. Is there going to be contact? Wow, that was close. Oh, there it is.
Contact, yeah.
Woo!
Mitch will not give this up. He is a fighter. He loves the fight.
And
just a little update, guys. Nev Shields was in the pits, stopped for 1 minute and 10 seconds, so 40 seconds worth of damage, all repaired. He's back on track.
There you go. Mitch Campbell down the inside, out of the left-hander, gets Cooley back. Nice work, like you mentioned, Rusty. Mitch not one to give up. Cooley will be loving this fight.
That's a good example of how the cars have different strengths in different areas. Absolutely, the McLaren got blitzed down that straight and under brakes there, but look at the way Mitchie positioned his car and maintained that position back. He wrestled that car. He knew what it was capable of through the twisty stuff, and he put it in the right spots and capitalised. So yeah, interesting in this next phase.
Nice racecraft there, John.
He's
and
defending,
again, oh,
he's defending well
wow.
too. So, like you said, JB, through this section here, I would expect the McLaren to be particularly strong versus the Aston because it carries so much speed through those fast corners. Mitch Campbell in the McLaren, it's got so much more aero compared to the Aston, but then can Cooley line him up for that big run down the back straight? Because once that Aston gets in front, I think it's going to be difficult for the McLaren to get back in front.
Yeah.
So the longer that Mitch can hold him back here, the better off he is.
Yeah, it's that last little complex as they come over the crest and run to the final corner before the back straight. Yep. That's where Cooley gets him. It's this little downhill run here. Watch this.
Yeah, Mitchie defends again. Can cool heads prevail here? This is heating up, and this is where the drivers can get unstuck, racing
around
each
the
other.
outside.
Oh, Mitchie squeezes him to the outside. Cooley with the optimum line though, runs. And again.
It's handy, but he's just got nothing down the chute, does he?
No. Cooley dodging the draft again, as did Mitchie.
The McLaren's so good under brakes here compared to the Aston.
And it was just up the road here, into the left-hand little switchback here that they're just coming up to, where Campbell was able to poke the nose back on the inside, but no chance this time. Well back from Cooley's car. Oh, just
how much of a tighter line Mitchie carries there.
Yep.
And he's able to hold it too, but Cooley just has opened the gap now, hasn't he?
He definitely has. Faraday also passed, while we've been watching that, Faraday passed Crossland, and Vic Chan now starting to range up on the back of the officially sponsored Rainlight Racing Porsche there. T-Fam not too far back from that little group. Matty T in some clean air with Nathan Henderson. Jordan Moss now into ninth. Tucked in behind. Yeah, great comeback. John Carter rounding out the top 10, but has got plenty of work to do with Ashton on his tail. So plenty going on throughout the field. We just seen a leader change with Chris Cooley now in the lead in the Aston Martin. Mitch Campbell in second. Shane Faraday in third, and now Crossland. Steve Crossland has got a lot of work to do with, I think Vic Chan is coming for him in the Bentley, guys. What do you think?
Yeah, Vic just not as quick as we've seen the Vic in the past, the Vic Stappen.
Vic Stappen, yes.
But Vic is a very calculated racer. He'll just be biding his time. He'll run his numbers. He'll know exactly what he needs to do. Absolutely, he will. Still 49 minutes to go. He'll pick his time, and once these pit stops roll out, you know, look, is he quick enough to be up on the podium? I don't think so at this stage. But look, who knows? Anything can happen. Track cuts are still an absolute possibility here.
For sure, John. Steve Crossland in the 708 Rainlight Racing Porsche has got some work to do. Vic Chan, like you said, measured driver, but he is coming for Crossland. He will want to stay in touch with Faraday. He more than likely thinks he's got a third position in that Bentley and will want to chase that down. Rest of the field, fairly even spread. Darren Green and Lucas Saar are fairly close together. And a little bit of a to and a fro there as the sun gets very low in the sky. The shadows are getting long.
This is the other thing to think of. As this racetrack cools down, the guys that were anticipating on a long run with a heavy fuel load, their tyre pressures are going to be all over the show at the end. They're going to be out the window. So the guys that probably stop at halfway, I would be looking at that halfway stint. I'd be looking definitely at tyre pressure changes. I'd be watching those tyres, what they're doing right now, what adjustments you can make at that
Yep.
stop.
Absolutely. Crossland, Vic Chan, I think, is where we need to be. We've also got a couple of little battles going on down the field, but it's a little bit gappy. But Crossland, I think the Fudado Crossland Vic Chan battle is where it is at the moment. But yeah, like you said, temperatures, what we got, I think I've got shown on my data, 20 track, 20 ambient.
Yeah, and we mentioned it before the race, didn't we? That once the sun sets here at Cota, it gets very cold very quickly. So it's going to be interesting if you're one of the guys who had planned, like you mentioned earlier, JB, that Henderson might be long fueled. He might be trying to push this fuel load as far as he can possibly get to see how it pans out. Now, at the end of the race, he might be in a better position to come in and throw a set of tyres on, because if you're pitting halfway through this race and the temperature drops off, say 2 or 3 degrees, you might be in a worse position at the end of the race than someone who pits late, for example. So very interesting to see how this plays out.
And his car's a quick car, we know, when it's a light car too. So, so yeah, look for him at the back end.
Definitely. Let's get in Vic Chan's car for a lap, and let's just see the man at work at the moment.
Fantastic. Look at that beautiful sun setting over there, isn't it? It's picturesque here at Cota when the sun sets. It's a beautiful track. Coming in the last corner, critical to get a good run here on this straight. Vic does well. As we mentioned before here, turn 1, very easy to outbrake yourself. You're braking uphill. You always feel like you can brake later than you probably should. And the exit of the turn is blind to you, so you don't really see it until about here. That's where you get through. Vic does very well here. Critical through this next sector of turns to maintain as much pace as possible. You don't want to be touching the brake if you can avoid it. You know, slam it through that one. Slam it through this one. A little touch on the brakes, downshift. Set yourself up here for this double apex right-hander, because the next part of the track is where you can lose a lot of time here. You want to cut that. Now here is very tricky. It's very easy to lose traction here. Vic cuts well, gets over here, doesn't go too far. Yes, flat through there. This section here, we've seen a lot of guys making up a lot of speed through this section. Again, another late braking area here onto this back straight. You want to make sure you get a nice, big, good exit. Don't touch that sausage on the left-hand side. Little bit of rub on the sausage there from Vic. Gets on the gas. You can see how powerful the Porsche is through that section just by the time that Crossland's made there. He's made about 4 or 5 tenths on the Bentley through that middle part of the track. Big braking zone here. Vic does well, pulls it up. Tricky little right-hander here. Not so friendly for the Bentley, I wouldn't have thought. Another double apex, change of direction, always tough. The Porsche should be strong through here. You can see the Crossland up ahead gets right up onto the back of the Datsun. Very fast section through here, traditionally very good for the McLaren. High aero section of the track. It's one of those tracks, it doesn't really favour anyone overall. It favours you in different parts. Very easy to cut here on the exit of this second last corner. Vic does well. He's coming into the pits, boys.
So Vic Chan in the pits there, ladies and gentlemen. What are we looking at? Pretty well half race there. Little over half race to go yet.
Yeah, he's bang on. And that's a good call from Vic to do what he's just done there. I just noted TFAM. He was right on his bumper as well. That's a battle that is really, really hard. You can see how much Vic was actually seesawing his wheel. So he was working hard on that car. And sometimes, you know, that pressure you just don't need. So he's just ejected himself from that battle. He's going to find himself some clear air, reset and re-go. Vic will be in a good state here.
For sure, for sure. Jordan Moss still all over Nathan Henderson. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you're seeing, please like and subscribe. Hit us up in the chat box. Look, we're only halfway through the season here at ASRNZ's Season 1 at 2024 GT3 season. So
get involved.
Get involved.
Never too late.
Discord links are in the description. get involved as we jump on and check out this battle between Jordan Moss and Nathan Henderson. Thanks for joining us. We got Ferox, we've got Nick Firth in the chat box. G'day, mate. Gorescore, I think I'm pronouncing that right. Commenting about the Fotado hunting Crossy battle and the power and the aero of the Nissan. Absolutely right, mate. Please like, subscribe, hit the notifications, get involved, get over to ASRNZ, register for the series. There's still plenty of racing to go through this season. Chris Cooley out in front, boys. Mitch Campbell in second. Shane Fotado and Steve Crossland still going at it.
Crossland's all over. Fotado's firing into the pits,
Oh,
guys.
Fotado into the pits, yes.
So Crossy's not giving it up. He's not letting them run away. He's still running pretty much on par with Fotado and Campbell. Cooley, look, we know Cooley. He's an alien, right? He's in a league of his own.
He's just in another postcode at the moment.
But Crossland having a very strong race here tonight.
Yeah, I agree. Steve Crossland driving really, really well. He's best lap at 2:07.2. So he's measuring it right up there with all those front running guys all running in the low 2:07. So
yeah, definitely.
Next back from them from Attic T in the the mid 2:07. So not quite the pace as that top 5.
No, as the cameras just flick back, I think it's Shane Fotado in the Kentucky Fried Panda.
Yes, so just interesting because these two came together on lap 1, so it has taken 40 minutes for Moss to get back to the position that he started in next to Henderson. So this will be very interesting. Now, is Moss going to fire in the pit? Because we are in the pit stop zone here. I'm very curious what Moss is thinking in terms of pit stop strategy.
Well, do you think
he does like to run long, generally speaking? So.
And if he gets if he thinks Hendo's holding him up, it would just make sense, wouldn't it? Just to pop in and just get that little bit of clear air. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah. If he'll be sighting him now and seeing where he's strong and weak and whatever. And like you say, he's made up so much ground now. And if he can reference to Steve Crossland, we know that the Porsche's actually holding on really well at the back end of the race. It's still got real good pace. So it's just he's going to lose too much time if he is hooked up behind Hendo here.
This is where the battle is at the moment. Viewers, Jordan Moss, Geordie the Boss Moss on Henderson. Like Rusty just alluded to, it's taken 40 minutes to get back to where he started this race at and start moving forward. In 7th position at the moment provisionally. There is some pitted cars in front of him, Mitch Campbell being one of them, so probably a little bit out of position at the moment, but yeah, sort of in that 7th, 8th position provisionally at the moment, with plenty of racing to go.
Brad Robertson in the pits, guys. Brad's just been plugging along there.
And Brad's doing, he's
hitting
just
from
been,
P9,
yep.
He's just chugging away.
Yep. Yeah, and he's had some work to do. Plenty going on in the background. Mitch Campbell in and out like a flash.
Mitch
Rusty.
Campbell only 33 seconds in the pits.
Wow.
No damage, obviously. A nice, very clean stop. I would suggest he's taken tyres because it was a 33-second stop. So, yep, just a set of tyres. Fueled for half of the race, like JB mentioned at the start of the program tonight. So, a standard regulation strategy tonight for Mitch, and we'll see how it pans out.
Yeah, it's a good strategy to run too, just that half. You know your car, you're used to the balance now of its fuel load, so, and you're only going to rinse and repeat that again on your second cycle too, and also have that second set of boots. And hopefully, if you had any of those pressure dramas wrong, you've corrected that at that stop. So
turn it into 2 sprints, basically.
Oh, for sure. Jordan Moss now past Henderson. Henderson coming back. Having a bit of a look down the end of the back chute there. But Mossy all over it with very little power down the straight and the Aston in tow. keeps the Kentucky Fried Panda Porsche out in front there, and now holds down provisional 6th.
I wonder how long the Aston's going to run for, because he's, you know, he's just not as quick as that Cooley car.
Cooley's
I know
in the
they're
pits.
different drivers, but just it'll be really interesting to see how long that Aston of Henderson runs
Hendo's
for.
runs, yep.
Yeah.
Yep. T-Fam in the pits as well.
He's currently running mid 208s, so that would, you know, put him a little bit out of sync with, I mean, you saw Moss there. Moss currently running what?
Well, these other guys are taking white tyres, which cost him 30 seconds, and he just needs a splash for a bit of fuel. He's going to save himself a lot of time. I mean, what's his difference? How far off the lead is he?
Cooley just
it's
off the
far,
jacks
not
and
far.
rolling out.
He's about 30 seconds off the lead at the moment, Henderson. So if he does just do a splash dash, doesn't take tyres at the end, if he can maintain somewhere around the pace that he's doing, he might be tyre saving. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Yeah. The other thing I've always thought of as a driver, the longer you stay on that lead lap for after cars are pitting in front of you and being blue flagged, you know, it's more likely these other cars in front are going, when they're blue flagged, to let you by a little bit easier than if you're trying to repass a car, you know, that is still legitimately fighting for its position.
Yeah, 100%. That's definitely something that comes into consideration. When you're a mid-pack guy, you always want to consider, well, if I pit early, I'm going to get so many more blue flag. I guess the difference here at Cota is we're talking about a much longer lap, right? So it's a 2-minute 7, 2-minute 8 laps. So you do buy yourself a little bit of time in terms of blue flags.
Yeah.
So you might be, you know, you'll get a little bit more clear air running, as opposed to, say, like a Donington or something like that, where you're talking about a minute and a half, and as soon as you're in the pits, you're out, and you're getting blue flagged as soon as you come out, right? So, yeah, I'm very interested. It's going to be interesting to watch here, Henderson, because, as you mentioned before, this car gets quicker as it gets lighter. Has he looked after the tyres enough? Can he produce good times at the end of this stint? Because that might decide the strategy on the fly.
Look, if this is a strategy that he's playing, I love it. I'm all for this stuff. Can he do it? Can he pull 100%. Off the long run and splash a dash at the end? Well,
he's going around again.
Yes, it very much looks like it.
He's only got to save, what, 20 seconds for this to be worthwhile?
Yeah.
Something like that. And he'll be close to a podium if he gets that. So, based on the current running.
Anyone that runs a pole position and it's from the OES stable, they'll all be all over strategy. So, yep. I'm beginning to think the more this race pulls on, he's running heavy and running long. So, yeah, good work.
Well, that would explain the swamping at the start, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
He stuck it on pole, so he's obviously not slow. Right?
Yep.
So that would explain a lot.
So what are you saying? Heavy fuel.
Splash and dash at the end. No tyres.
Splash and dash. No tyres.
Yep. No tyres. No tyres. Splash and dash.
Maybe a 5-second stop or something like that, just to get to the end.
Yeah, okay. You heard it here first, folks.
That's the way I'm leaning to.
These two guys know their stuff. Okay, the abacus has been out. We've clicked the beads and we've worked out the numbers. But watch this space. Big call. But
well, someone had to try it. Look, honestly, if I was running in this race, I'd be going around probably looking at the same thing. I'd be in the Lexus though, and it shreds its rear tyres, so I'd be in a world of pain. But I'd still have a crack.
You'd still have a go at it. That's right.
Exactly. Well, because honestly, I'd feel like it would be my best chance to get like a decent result. If I'm running on par with the rest of the field and taking a 30-second stop, I'd be like, well, they're going to beat me. So if I can make 25 seconds and save a little fuel and save my tyres and try to get to the end, that's probably my best chance at getting the best result I can.
For sure. Listen, just quickly on the chat box there, Damien, a.k.a. Jacques, no dramas, mate. You just... Not prepared for the Enduro. He says, look, mate, it just gives you a chance to kick back and grab a beer or a coffee or a cup of tea and watch the rest of the stream, mate. Click the like button while you're there and just kick back, mate. Put your feet up.
It's good to see you back on grid, mate.
Oh, definitely. So nice work.
Sorry, right through there.
Just picking up on a few things on the stats tower here. There,
Yes.
looks like they've all the guys have actually cleared their pits because they've got green boxes next to them. So
I don't know how accurate that was because it was showing that before. So I think that might be broken tonight for some reason.
yes,
Yeah, I agree, JB, because, you know, from my data, it looks like Moss, Henderson, MT, and Crossland haven't pitted yet.
No.
Yet in the game, it says that
Well,
they
they haven't.
have. So,
Yeah, no, they haven't. So.
okay.
So yes, our tower is broken at the moment, but we'll keep you up to date, won't we, guys?
Pappy, it's Kunos's tower, okay?
It's
not our
Kunos's
tower.
tower.
We're just borrowing it.
Okay.
We're not owning that.
Okay.
No, definitely. Crossland needs to pit, MT needs to pit, Moss needs to pit, Henderson needs to pit, and that's the remainder of the field that needs to make a stop.
yeah, because you look at Curley and Campbell and Fodderdo.
Yep.
Definitely.
So pit stop times, guys. Cooley, Campbell, Fodderdo, and Chan. 35 seconds, 33 seconds, 35 seconds, 35 seconds, respectively. So very clean, in and out, tyres, fuel, done.
Very tidy, yeah, very tidy stuff, and it is, and we talk about it all the time. It's the 1%ers, isn't it?
1%ers, yeah.
And look, John will talk you through this all day about the practice that goes in to get that stuff right. You've really got to hit those marks properly in any race that you've got to put a pit stop in. So it's critical stuff.
Having watched John and raced against him, I would suspect that you spend a fair bit of time just nailing your pit stops, right? It's part of the program. It's part of the practice that you put in. It's part of your preparation because there's so much time to lose, right? If you get it wrong,
and or gain.
Yeah, absolutely. And we also talked off mic there earlier, Rusty, about just your average lap time and just maintaining that consistent lap time and that's all you need to focus on, that consistency, and that pays a huge dividend later in the back end of a race.
Yep. Yeah, and you don't want to put that work in during the race to lose 10 seconds in a stop by overshooting your box or getting a drive-through if you miss your pit entry, right? These are very avoidable mistakes. So,
and again, knowing who you're racing, sometimes you're out of position, or other cars that are faster than you are out of position and they're coming through. You don't need to race them. They're going to be quicker than you. They're going to pass you. You're going to just lose too much time fighting with them or end up in an accident. So it's just sometimes, that racecraft is super important, and especially in enduro racing.
Yeah, and like you're saying, it's like knowing where your battle is, isn't it, John? And sometimes you just have to sort of take a chill pill and just go, hey, that's not my fight. And just focus on your fight, whether it be, hitting your marks in the pits or hitting in your times on track. So,
Little update, guys. There is one other car yet to stop, and that is Phil Turner, currently leading the AM class. He's currently running in P11, and he is, I'm trying to look at my timer here, he is about a minute ahead of the next AM class driver, which is currently Hunter in the Porsche. So it's going to be very close where he pops out. He's got John Carter in P12 coming up behind him right now.
He's got John Carter very, very close behind him.
I don't think he'll hold him up too much, these OES teammates.
Ooh.
So I'm sure. I spoke too soon.
bit of a slip up from Cota there. But it's the commentator's curse. Again, Fodderdo Chan is come back up on my radar, guys.
Just looking at the lap times that Cooley's doing in 205 flats, nearly in the 204s versus the other cars around him. 208s, 208s, 207s. Cooley is just like nearly 3 seconds a lap quicker on these fresh tyres than anybody around him. It's just incredible that guy is showing.
It should be illegal.
Steve Crossland, 207.9, he's up close to the 208. So is Matty T. Jordan Moss, 207.8. Yep, they're all struggling at the back end here on these long runs that they're doing.
Do you pull the trigger now, JB? Do you
Well, there
say,
is
all
a
right,
crossover period. You're not racing Cooley, are you? You're
no.
probably more looking at Mitchie Campbell's times. But interesting, Mitchie, who has pitted, is on running at that 207 pace, as is Vic Chan, the 207s as well. So apart from Cooley, everyone really is about the same pace. So the long runners aren't actually in a bad state. I'm just referencing back to that Cooley guy.
It's decent pace.
That Curly guy.
Because I mean, well, I mean, it could be tempting, right? If your original plan was to not change tires and splash and dash, when the tires start going off late in the run, it can be tempting to go, my tires are bad, I'm going to change them, and then you ruin your whole strategy, right? You just have to. If we've got what 26 minutes of this race left, you have to stick with it now, don't you? You just have to. If you change tyres at this point, you're destroying everything that you work for, aren't you?
You are, yeah. The mover I can see is back in 10th is the car 92 of Ashton Hughes. He's actually firing really good times at the moment, moving forward.
Yeah, a little quiet achiever tonight.
Yeah, a little bit of a slip up earlier in the race. How's the?
Well, he's taken his stop. He has, I guess, he's taken tyres. It was a 32-second stop, so we were discussing earlier whether he was going to run long or not. So I think he's taken tyres.
Yep. And you actually touched on the speed trap data earlier,
Yes.
Rusty. Has that changed? Like, has those fuel loads changed before some of those quick guys went into the pits? Do you think that's come up a little bit?
We have three.
We're still in that same zone. Yeah?
We have three manufacturers sharing the honours tonight in the speed trap. So we have Chris Cooley in the Aston Martin at 265 clicks.
Yep.
We have Stu Arrowsmith in the Lexus. God, I love the Lexus. 265 clicks.
Oh, the Lexus.
And Kenny Simpson in the AM class. 265 clicks for Kenny in the Datsun. So there you go.
So, nice work. So that's a testament to them getting off that final corner before that.
And for Kenny, it's also a case of what might have been tonight, because he was involved in that first or second lap incident. So he would have been streets ahead. Watching the AM class is going to be very interesting where Phil Turner turns up. He has not pitted yet. He's running very, very long. Do you know what Phil Turner's times are at the moment, JB? I'm looking at
Turner's last time. Oh, there it goes there.
Yep.
I think it is Turner. It was a 2:10.
2:10. So his competitors, I'm looking. Look, he's running on par. Phil Davidson's running a high 209. Nev Shields is running a high 209. So he's running on par with his competitors. I think he's going to come out and find himself leading the AM class.
Yeah, well, so Turner's best is a 2:10.002.
Yep.
So he's like a whisker of a 9.
Yep.
So there you go. Very, very close. As we still see Steve Crossland across the start-finish line for another lap. Matty T across the line for another lap. Jordan Moss across the line for another lap, as is Hendo. So Hendo, big part of the discussion there a little bit earlier, to where we thought he would bring that Aston in, showing some good pace.
Little special mention to Maddie T as well, currently running in P2, doing a very fine job. Following up from her debut last week, where she got, was it back-to-back podiums for Maddie T last week?
Yeah, oh, she might have actually. I know she got one at least. I know we had
definitely one. Definitely one.
Yes, it was. Yep. Two-thirds for Maddie.
Yeah. Two-thirds. And she's currently running in P2, so it'll be very interesting to see where she shakes out here. Steve Crossland yet to pit.
Yeah, and so Maddie is one yet to pit as well, with Jordan Moss and Nathan Henderson, yes, and Steve Crossland. So, yeah, these guys are running along here. 23 minutes to go. Still a long time. And a lot of racing to go yet. We've got a drive through for Vic Chan. Oh,
wow.
Chihuahua.
It's got to be track cuts.
Surely.
Yeah, coming in the back end here.
Oh, he's rolling out of the pits. So did he get it on? He wouldn't have got it on the entry to the pits then, because it wouldn't have showed up already. So there you go. He's just cleared that. There you go.
I'm actually hats off to the drivers tonight. I expected
A
many
lot
more
more.
drive-throughs for track
Oh,
cars
for
tonight
Cota.
than we've
For
seen.
Cota. Oh,
Is that the
mate.
first warning for all the other drivers that and the commentary team that there's more to come right now?
Well, you know what it's like at the end of an enduro stint. You start getting a little bit tired. Even the best people will start getting a little bit not lazy. A little bit lazy might be the way. You know, you
Robotic comes to mind.
you get an emotion of it. You know.
Yeah.
So you're thinking about other things. You're thinking about the interview you're going to give on the podium after the race, right? You're thinking about all this other stuff. Where am I going to be? Where am I going to be in the championship after the end of the race?
Which
Next
socks
thing you
am
know,
I
you're
going to
gonna
wear?
Yes. What's the wear on the ball of my foot for this for the racing sock? You know?
You're absolutely right, Rusty. It's very much a mental thing as well as, you know, some of these guys, they'll be certainly sweating. Other guys, they'll have aircon on, doing it sweet,
Doing it easy.
You know, and they're just sitting there in their socks. So, but the mental side is certainly draining. Like, you do drift off. You do start thinking of other weird things. What am I doing tomorrow? You know, and that's when you make your mistakes. Easy to do.
Easily done as the cameras pick up on Geordie, the Boss Moss in the Kentucky Fried Panda Porsche.
Still yet to pit.
777 Porsche.
Is anyone going to go the whole way tonight? It's starting to get into
no
that territory now.
There's no compulsory pit stop.
Is there a compulsory? There is no compulsory.
No compulsory stop.
Right.
But 20 minutes, Rusty. Like.
Well, 80 minutes. Look, from experience, I can tell you that the Beamer can do 80 minutes. It can absolutely do 80 minutes.
Is that right?
Well, we've double stinted the Beamer on tyres before.
Yeah.
And you know, fuel-wise, if you feel safe for a few laps, you can make 80 minutes. You can definitely do it. It's doable. It's not going to be pretty. You're right. It's not going to be fast. But in a pinch, at the end of an enduro race, you can do it. It's doable. So. I'm very interested. Mossy's he's a cerebral guy. I just wonder if, I haven't spoken to him, honestly, hand on heart. I wonder if he's thinking about running.
These cars make the distance, Rusty. Is there a fuel capacity where they will make the 80 minutes on these cars?
120 litres you can get in the Beamer. I can't speak to the Porsche, I don't know. But definitely, it's a 120 litre tank in the Beamer. So you can do 80 minutes if you can fuel save. It's definitely doable.
Wow.
Yep.
I like that. That's awesome.
Wow.
That has changed the dynamics. I wasn't sure if the stop was compulsory or not, but okay, I've learned something tonight. So there is no splash. So Henderson, Mott, Matty, Crosby, they are going long.
Well, all the different cars have different fuel capacities, right? Again, I can only really speak for the Beamer. It has 120 litres max fill. I think other cars have different max capacities, so they might not be able. But for example, say the Ferrari, right? It's so much better on fuel burn than all the other cars are. So, it might go longer.
Yeah,
it all
with
depends
a smaller
on how
fuel
you
tank.
use it.
Yeah. Wow.
Crossy's off.
Food. Oh, really? Food for thought, ladies and gentlemen. Crossy still leading the race.
Oh, no, that was someone else. Pardon me.
Okay. It wasn't Geordie, was it?
No. Geordie was behind whoever just went off there.
Okay, so.
I think it was Rivers.
Steve Crossland still out in front. Matty T in second. Jordan Moss in third. Hendo in fourth. Is someone pitted there? Anyway. Chris Curley in fifth, first of the pitted cars on the tower there at the moment. So first, second, and third yet to pit.
Gee, if only we could get the fuel tank data of these cars.
Nathan Henderson.
I'd really love to know.
Nathan Henderson, we expect, hasn't pitted as well, and Curley's already gone past him. Mitch Campbell, we know, has already been in the pits as well. So plenty to go on with just under 18 minutes to go, ladies and gentlemen.
Currently 5 cars yet to pit, guys. That is Steve Crossland, Matty T, Jordan Moss, Nathan Henderson, and Phil Turner currently leading the M class.
So Phil Turner, and we mentioned him before, whether he was thinking the same thing about running long. Like you said, the fuel economy on the Ferrari is quite good. Rusty.
Yes, it is. Yep. And I just wonder, Henderson and Phil Turner are both part of the OES stable, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe a little bit of strategy sharing here. So you two guys do the sprint strategy, we'll do the long run strategy and see what happens.
Yep.
Might be a bit of that going on.
So a fairly spread field here at the moment. A little bit of toing and froing, but nothing serious, as everybody, all the positions equalising a little bit after a flurry of pit stops there through pretty well mid-race. So we saw a few early ones, but a bit of a flurry of pit stops mid-race, as we all expected.
Gee, I just want someone to come to the end of this race without stopping. I just want that to happen so bad.
So do I, Rusty. I'm just crunching some numbers in the background here going, okay, it's certainly looking like it. And I've very much got my eyes on Chris Curley again. As I have all race.
Will he catch them?
His pace has dropped off. He was running nearly a second and a half a lap quicker. There's
he pitted
15 minutes to go at a guess. That's what, 6-7 laps? Maybe eight laps. So that's eight seconds to 10 seconds he's going to make on them. But he's only 11 seconds adrift from the lead.
Yeah.
So so the closing stage.
Oh, Crossland just got a drive-through. Crossland with a drive-through.
Out of the final corner. Out of the final corner there. Rusty for sure as he goes.
Well, that's ruined that. That's ruined that strategy.
Oh, mate, he'll be. There's 2 pit stops.
Oh,
at least one.
Luck.
And again, look, we did talk about it. Is this your mind drifting off? The tyres are wearing out. Your car's not doing the same thing. You have to drive it so differently to the car you started with.
I was on board with Crossy last lap, and I thought, gee, that Porsche's getting a little bit loose. It's starting to get a little bit taily. It's starting to get a little bit hard to control. And the Porsche is probably the worst car once it's not under you, once you don't have the confidence with it, it's probably the hardest car to drive, right? It's so feisty. So, yeah, very bad luck there for Crossy.
Yeah, absolutely. Commiserations there. He's going to have to serve that in this next couple of laps and clear that. His head will be shaking.
Well, on the plus side, he'll save some fuel in the drive-through, right? So
there's
probably get another
always
lap
a positive. We're glass half full. Or,
silver linings, yes.
Yeah, glass half full up here in the comms box, ladies and gentlemen. Always.
If only we had a safety car.
Oh, wouldn't that be awesome?
Maybe we just force drive-throughs for everybody. That we could save fuel for these Enduros. Everybody has to do one drive-through, okay?
Okay, we're just
if that gets you to the end of the race.
We might have to send some beer and a check down to, the live stewards, I think, Rusty, for that one. But I'm sure we could work something out.
So with Crosby getting that drive-through, and that's off the back end of another drive-through, we saw someone serve as Crosby goes in to serve that. That's going to send a huge message to all the other drivers that are already on their limit of track cuts.
Oh, for sure.
This is when you're going to see start of the back end of the race tend to go. A lot of these guys are going to be really. I expect the lap times to tumble as for some of these drivers because they're just the cautiousness of it all. But Cooley again, he's nearly bloody 2 seconds quicker than everyone.
Again.
Especially ahead of him. He's going to mow them down at the end.
Yeah.
It's funny too, JB, you mentioned the psychology of it. It's funny when you find yourself on your last warning for a track cut and you think you'll take it a little bit easier, but that whole approach. But no. But seriously, when you try to take it a little bit easier, that's when you make more mistakes, right? Because you're not in your natural
you go
rhythm.
out of your rhythm.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
So many times you'll find yourself on 3 warnings, and you're like, oh, I need to take it a little bit easier, but you're being overly defensive, and you'll make more mistakes. And that's when you get those track cuts when you lose 10 seconds and still get a track cut for it, right? Because you're trying to be overly cautious. So it really does play into it. You want to have a couple of those up your sleeve this last stint.
There's nothing harder than trying to drive slow when you've been driving fast for the last hour. It's never going to work.
It's like an actor it's like a good actor pretending to be a bad actor in a movie, right? They can't be a bad actor because they're a good actor. So acting like a bad actor ends up mean they're very good at it. So yeah, you got to be aware of the race situation, and also aware of your pace, and just make sure if you're on 3 cuts, once you go, don't go over. Once you get into that overly cautious mode, that's when you can make even more mistakes, because you're worried more about the cut than you are about the pace.
Yeah, it's like our last little message in the chat box is from, I think it's Gorska. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And he just says focus fatigue.
Focus fatigue is a great way.
That is it in a nutshell. And that's what these guys are going through right now at this end of the race. With a little over 10 minutes to go, we've got about 11 and a half minutes. Geordie Moss in second position now with...
This is setting up to be brilliant. Perfect finale at the end, because I'll tell you, this is going to come down to the wire. This is coming down to the wire. Matty T and Jordan Moss are going to get run down by Cooley at the end here. I can see this happening.
Yeah, and so where does Henderson sort of phase out in here? And Crossland, he's only dropped down to 5th. So I know he's out of the top race, but yeah. Gee, he's right behind Henderson.
If Moss...
He's a camera shot now.
If Moss can somehow stick this out and go to the end of this race after that turn 1 incident, and he was down to what, P20 or P22 or whatever it was, that would be an epic drive.
Yeah.
If he's taking this all the way to the end, I tell you, that would be special.
Yeah. Okay, well, I just saw Crossland. Now, Crossland's been in and out of the pits for a drive-through, and he just blew past Henderson. So, what's Hendo doing? No tyres, no fuel.
Yep, no, Hendo's still going. He hasn't stopped yet.
Nah. So he's
these guys really on the...
Yeah,
are they really saving the fuel now? Have they changed the fuel map? The tyres, we know, are spent. Look at the night sky creeping in slowly.
Well, Crossy's just taking him back 4 position.
Yeah.
And after a drive-through from Crossland. So...
Well, he's got rubber to burn, doesn't he? He can attack. He can go for it. So you're right.
In this drive-through, though, he can't take rubber, can he?
Oh, no, you're right. Yeah, no, that's correct.
So he's literally just driven through to serve a penalty.
You're right, too.
Gained anything. He's only given the tyre a reprieve for a little bit.
You're right. 100%. You're right. Matty T, by the way, just holding it down in P1. About what, 6.5 seconds up a sleeve, back to Moss in P2. Cooley 12 seconds. Yeah. Oh, it's 12 seconds. It's a 9. We've got 9 minutes left. It's a 2-minute lap. 12 seconds behind. Do the math.
What I mean. It's just shaping up to be one hell of a finish.
Yep.
And the thing is, once you catch them, that's fine, but passing's another thing, and I tell you, their elbows will be out on those last 2 laps. If he's catching them the radius we're seeing on track at the moment, this is going to be a ripper.
Oh, mate, you wouldn't want to stick out here in Cota, do a whole 80-minute session without pitting on old rubber with no fuel. You're fuel saving. You haven't got track cuts, and then to have someone come up behind you and attack you, you wouldn't be having that, would you? You'd be like, no, I'm going to defend this. I'm going to earn this, you know.
Yeah, not at this late stage. I'm not having that at all.
Not having it.
We're
not having it.
There would be an argument.
Yes, there would be. a
It's also,
disagreement.
it's a double-edged sword,
That's
though,
it.
because you've got the aggressor who's pushing absolutely to the limit, and we don't know how many cuts they are at, too. So he's also got to probably be careful of that. Matty, on the other hand, you know, very conservative, just plugging away, super consistent, deserves to be there at the top of the tree.
And got
Plugging away.
a healthy gap as well.
Well, at this rate, we've got what?
Isn't that healthy?
Well, no. We've got 4 laps to go, and currently, I'm looking at the last lap times. Cooley is about 1.5 seconds faster. It's not going to make it. It's not going to catch up.
It was closing so much quicker, but the front runners have actually responded a little bit.
Yep.
So it's coming down to the wire, ladies and gentlemen. If you like what you're seeing, please like and subscribe to the channel. Plenty more action coming at ASRNZ's 2024 GT3 series.
A 208 from Matty, a 207.8 from Moss, and a 205.6 from Cooley. Okay, now that's a little different.
Yeah, he's up the ante.
That's
there.
flying. Yeah. That is absolutely flying.
Yeah, nice. Thanks for the comments, Nick. Yes, Matty doing a bloody stellar job out there, holding down first. Just tucked in behind, just getting past the lap car. I think that is actually Joe Grimmer in one of the McLarens, sneaking past there. But yeah, look, Chris Cooley on the march, so she's got plenty of work to do. Geordie Moss, he is the next target in the crosshairs of Chris Cooley. He will have he's well focused on the apex
that
in front
racing's
of him.
heading up too, Paps. I know that's it's closing up there. T-Fam now is applying the blowtorch to the back of Whararo in these dying stages. He is right on the back of that Nismo.
We would expect nothing else than two intense battles going on as we wind down to try and keep our cameras focused on John. This is something we're used to here.
Isn't it typical? Where do you look and why does it always happen at the end?
These guys, the carrot, it's just been just floating there the whole race. But here it is. It's ever so close. Look at Fam right up. Getting right up on the back of Whararo now.
Guys, just a little bit of an update in the other classes. Vaughan Martin currently running P1 in the Pro-Am class. He's got about 25 seconds up his sleeve, up to Spence in the 420 McLaren car running behind. And in the AM class, Phil Turner still yet to stop. He may be going to the end in that Ferrari.
Oh, yeah, well, there you go.
And if he does, he is running in P12
yes,
currently.
Yes,
he's got 2 seconds up his sleeve in against Vaughan Martin in the Pro-Am class. But he's interestingly, he's got about a minute and a bit above the next AM class runner, which is Hunter in the Porsche in the 23 car. So incredible stuff from Phil Turner. If he gets to the end here, this is a huge points bonus. Bonus,
yes. But look at just his current times. Who are we looking at there, John?
I'm just looking up the front, and the Cooley just with a back marker in front of him. But Jordan Moss is in camera shot. Gap Jordan is there. This is for position. P3 and P2.
4.5 minutes to go.
And I looked at the last lap time from Matty. 209 versus Cooley's 206.
It's fuel saving. We're fuel saving officially.
We are fuel saving officially. 4 minutes to go. That's 2 laps and running 1. So with 3 to go, this is heating up. Cooley running them down.
Look, as the Kentucky
JB, if you're Mossy, do you try to defend this with 4 minutes to go, or do you hang on and say, I get myself a podium, off you go, son?
This is okay.
Looking at this, Mossy would be definitely happy with the podium. He does not need to fight Cooley. He's a calculated man. He knows exactly what's going on. He won't make this hard.
Here we go.
Big dive.
In the braking area.
He chops the nose of Cooley. His intent is to defend.
No mucking around there. The intent was very clear.
And Matty will be going,
thank you.
Go, Jordan.
Hold him up.
Every second count.
This is fantastic work here.
So Moss, with the eyes on, he has been so forward focused this whole race. Now He needs to look over the back wing of that Porsche.
And Cooley, if he's going for the win, he can't afford to be patient here. He actually needs to make a move and get it done quickly. He's only got 2 laps left.
And
so
you're gonna expect
here
us
we
to have
go.
a win one here.
Yep.
So we'll get out of the helmet of Chris Cooley right now, out of the brain, virtual reality, Chris Cooley style. As he ranges, look at the power of that ass and goes to the inside, breaks deep.
Shows the nose.
Jordan leaves him a little bit of space, but still has the run in the Porsche there, guys. Wow, good.
Jordan's actually really hard to pass. He knows where to put the car to make it uncomfortable for the attacking car. I just wonder if Cooley's just got too much rubber underneath him now to get that advantage. But Jordan generally is very hard to pass here. He knows what he's doing. He's not going to be flustered either. He's not a guy who gets flustered. So he'll be watching his mirror, but he'll also be looking ahead, and he's just going to put his car to make it uncomfortable for Cooley.
We also have Nathan Henderson, Mitch Campbell, and Shane Fudderdo and T-Fam. It is so much going on here as we just watch this as they... Jordan Moss goes deep.
Mossy into a typical late break there.
Easy mistake for Sierra. T-Fam now on Fudderdo.
The tyres are gone. They're melted.
Yep. And like the boys just mentioned, Geordie will be happy just to be on the podium in that Porsche and get a result here tonight.
1 lap.
That was the reprieve. That was the reprieve that Matty needed. That fight that we just saw.
I think that is.
Tyres doing that aggressive move too.
You're probably right there, Nick Firth chatting, just mentioning in the chat box, Maddie will be shitting bricks just to make sure she brings that thing home. I think she's going to do it there, Nick.
1 more lap. Let's go.
Follow it up.
This will be
Where did
an
Fam
epic
go?
effort.
Oh, Fam. Oh, we come off way back there. So we'll jump in Cooley's car now. Leader is on the final lap. Oh, mate. Guys, she's just got to keep this together. She has got the gap on Cooley here.
Very well orchestrated and calculated drive from Maddie. She's thought this out right from the start of the race. The Ferrari definitely handy on the fuel tank.
That fuel consumption of the Ferrari speaks for itself, doesn't it? She's got 5 seconds up her sleeve. She can go 5 seconds slower than her best lap and still win it here tonight.
Yep.
So just got to keep it together. We've got traffic, though. We've got traffic ahead. Oh, no. Come on.
That's a Vaughan Martin.
That's Greeny.
Oh, no, that's Greeny. Sorry, yep. So, yeah,
it looks loose. It looks very loose, that Ferrari. The tyres are screaming.
Cooley, just not that far behind.
The gap's down to 4.5 seconds. It's a big gap, but we all know Cooley is super fast, so can she keep it together?
Cooley does have that out of position car, that lap car in front of him, so Matty T will stay focused.
Awesome
this is exactly why the ASRNZ team have worked so hard on putting this stuff together like this, to really test these guys, and really mix up these strategies for this season. And obviously limited tyre quantities over the weekends as well in the sprint racing. And look what we're seeing here. Some vastly different strategies. And Matty T, as he runs around towards the final complex of corners,
Come on, Matty.
Is looking like she's going to bring this thing home with one of the best, if not right behind her in second.
Bring her home, Patty.
Matty T comes across the line to win the ASRN round 4 of the ASRNZ-2024 GT3 series at Cota. Well done, Madison T. Chris Cooley in second. Jordan Moss with a comeback from hell, boys, from 20th back to 3rd. Steve Crossland with it. Nice work. Definitely worthy of the applause there. Thanks. We got Have we got a live audience in the comms box here?
Of course.
Steve Crossland in 4th. Good comeback from the drive-through as well. Mitch Campbell in 5th. Shane Fronado in 6th. Nathan Henderson in 7th. T-Fam in 8th. Aston Hughes in the Aston in 9th. Big Tan in 10. And the list goes on, Rusty.
Yeah, John Carter, P11. Vaughan Martin, huge result for the Pro-Am Championship in P12. Phil Turner ended up coming home in P13. And I'm just checking here. He did not stop. Phil Turner was also on a no-stop strategy.
Okay, so he's still coming down the back straight there, Rusty. Yeah, so we could see these guys backing off, can't we? To conserve maybe a little bit of fuel, but
A little bit of fuel.
Definitely the tyre wear, obviously slows their laps. So
well, interestingly though, another Ferrari, right?
Another Ferrari. Too true.
So the Ferrari seems to run on the scent of an oily rag and is going to be one. We've got a couple more Enduros in this season, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So the Ferrari is the one to beat, obviously, in the Enduros. If you can make the fuel last. Matty T, what an effort. I'm just so happy that someone ran the whole race without stopping. That is sensational.
And made it stick.
Yeah, that's so good.
And we do have to give a tip of the hat to Moss as well. P3, after a lap 1 incident, found himself at the back of the grid and went the whole rest of the race without stopping and ended up on the podium. That's worthy of a round of applause too.
Amazing stuff. Okay, well look, let's go to the hot box as we see the boys starting to go back to the pit lane now. First cab off the rank would be Jordan Moss, I think. Can we get Jordan Moss in here? Let's see.
Got us, Jordan?
Yep. Hey guys.
Howdy.
Welcome to the hot box, Geordie. What a race, mate! Right down, you went from great qualifying back to the shit house, and then fought your way all the way back to the field to be here in the comps box with us for 3rd position, mate. What an effort!
Yeah, I was a bit gutted about that first lap, unfortunately, being turned around, but so be it. And just head down, ass up the rest of the race, and knew I could do it on fuel, so I had to do a bit of fuel saving, but knew I could get there, so I knew I could do it on tyres, so I just had to keep my head down.
Interesting, Geordie. You've often spoken about that the Porsche has a second life on the tyres. How did you find the tyres on the Porsche in that, that last kind of 20, 30 minutes? I was keeping an eye on the other Porsches, and they were starting to get a little bit loose. Other guys had some incidents. How did you find the tyre life at the end of that stint?
Yeah, it definitely came back. Look, through the midpoint, I was sort of pushing into the high 208s, and then as it came back, I could bring it back down to the 207s and keep it going. Although I just looked at my tyre wear, and my rear right was damn near shot. Had 1.3 mil left, so. But no, it handled it well, actually. I was quite happy with it.
Fantastic effort.
Hey, Mossy, JB here. What a fantastic drive, mate. That was a fantastic comeback. Yeah, congratulations on that. How was your mindset when Curly was coming up on you?
Yeah, I could. It was quite a challenge because I could see I was closing in on Maddie, but I could also see Curly was catching me, and I initially thought I could probably hold him out, but then I just went a bit deep into one of the hairpins, and he managed to get me. I knew I didn't have the pace to keep up with him, but I knew I could probably hold him off if I just stayed in front. But unfortunately, a little mistake, and she's all over.
Yeah, no, congratulations, mate. That was a fantastic race to watch. It was an awesome comeback, and well-deserved 3rd there.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
Well deserved, Geordie. Actually, coming back from 20th, I think we called you on lap 2 or something. So nice work from Jordan there. Jordan Moss, ladies and gentlemen.
Cheers, guys.
Moss the boss.
Moss the boss.
I don't think we can get Cooley.
No, Cooley's left already, but we can
do
get
the winner.
The winner,
Chicken dinner.
amazing.
Hey guys, I'm so happy, honestly.
I could tell when you went over the start finish line when you were doing that left right on the steering wheel. I knew you were happy. So we're so happy to talk to you tonight because that was an epic drive, Maddie. Well done. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks guys. And thanks to the Ferrari for having enough fuel to not stop.
Oh, there we go. There it is. So that was the big question, wasn't it, Pappy? Like,
Yep.
With fuel consumption. So the Ferrari, you knew that you could make the whole race without stopping for tires before?
Yeah, it was on the borderline. It was 120 liters was what it was going to take. So fuel can saved a little bit and made sure I got across.
Yeah, hey, congratulations, Matty. JB here. I love that strategy, the long play, something different. You got to test the tire, you got to run long, you got to fuel save, you got to hope and pray for some reprieves in the traffic that you're coming up on, and also get those stops nailed. Like, talk us through the mentality at the start of the race and how you had to go through that whole battle the whole way.
Yeah, I was just thinking obviously the front pack was really tight. I think there was 3/10 between the top 8 in qualifying or something. So I just thought there's no point fighting all those people. I'll try and just keep my pace, look after my tires. And then I ended up in the clear air, which is what I was hoping for. And yeah, by the end, the tires were pretty buggered. I don't know if you watched any onboards, but I was kind of squirreling all over the place. The understeer was crazy, but you're not going to beat Cooley unless you try something different. So
Yep.
Yeah,
we
the tire wear on the Ferrari is not so good, but the fuel burn is very good. So it's that balancing act, isn't it? I was very interested. What part of the race did you ever consider stopping for tire, or was that the plan from the start?
No, that was the plan. I was happy to have my tires explode. I was never stopping.
I love it. Fantastic.
Yeah, and we didn't need to get in car to see you were struggling with it. We could see from the trackside cameras.
Yeah, fair
It was tough. We could see a few of the cars. The guys were running along, and it was just, yeah, they were struggling with it. So it was good to, and yeah, we not only us, we're cheering you on. There was a whole bunch of guys in the people in the chat box, obviously cheering you on as well. Nick Firth, obviously one of them. Big fan. So, yeah, nice, Madison. Look, podium last week for your debut here at ASRNZ, and now you're here winning a race.
Yeah.
Mate.
Fantastic.
Just
yeah,
awesome.
Don't expect too much more of this.
You're setting a standard. You're setting a standard, So,
it's a very niche situation with this 80-minute race, I think.
Okay.
Well, we've got another Enduro too coming up in the season, so I would suspect that the Ferrari will be on board again.
Yeah, Zolder.
Okay. Well, I'll see if it can.
Yeah, so Zolder next week for a sprint race, but yeah, more Enduros to come.
And I think a lot of the competitors now will be looking, do we just run long? Can we run long? And are we going to burn our tyres right up? Yes, you can. Be like Maddie. You're a winner. Well done.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Madison. Awesome work. Maddie T, everybody. And I think we now have Chris Cooley. Chris Cooley. Do you have comms on us, Chris Cooley?
Yes. Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
G'day, mate. Mate, what an awesome run from, obviously, I think, the back of the pack. But yeah, a real good little battle at the end of the race. How was your race, mate?
Yeah, it was good fun. It was good fun having something to chase, and Maddie did a amazing job. So to make the tires last for 80 minutes and get the fuel to work, it's yeah, it's pretty amazing, really.
Not a bad effort.
Cooley,
not at all. Very good.
Cooley, your pace is incredible. First of all, I just want to say congratulations because I remember.
Hello.
Hello. I remember in the Jandal days, you were having a lot of internet cutouts and stuff. So it's just really satisfying to see you do a race from start to finish these days.
I can't hear you guys.
Come on.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me now? I can hear anything.
We can hear you.
Well, I think we're just going back to your Jandal days and your cutouts.
Yeah, so it's really good to see you finish.
Yeah, that was a while back.
Yeah, no, so it's just fantastic to see you in action from start to finish, and just your pace is
Yeah, I'm not sure what's
man.
happening. Maybe it's my internet's playing up.
Okay. Okay. So we're gonna congratulate you, whether you can hear us or not, Chris, brother.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're good. You're a clever man. Look, and a great driver, and awesome fight too. The pack tonight, mate, and a well-deserved second position. Like you said, Matty did a great job to keep the Ferrari running for that long. But look, I'm glad you joined us in the commentary box for a bit of a debrief post-race, my friend. Hope to see you again here soon, maybe next week.
Yeah, for sure. Whilst I'm here, I just want to apologize to Mossy. I did some pretty egregious sends because I thought it was him over radio comms at the time. Someone was saying, just go on the inside, and it turns out it wasn't him.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, sorry.
Somebody else. No, awesome stuff. Thanks, Chris, for joining us anyway, mate. And hopefully we see you again next week. What is it? Well, I just mentioned it before. Oh,
Zelda.
it's Zelda. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay.
Yeah.
Probably not, but we'll see.
Don't do practice. Just turn up. You'll be right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
All right.
okay.
Thanks again, guys. I really appreciate
Look,
everything you do.
appreciate the chat, Chris, and congratulations for your second position. Chris Curley, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, and JB and Rusty Shackelford, mate, what a cracking night, guys and ladies and
Really
gentlemen.
was. It really
Yeah, that
was
was
like
fun.
the mix of strategies. It was fantastic, wasn't it? To see some people pit. We were talking about it during the race. Will anyone go long? People went long, and that was the winning strategy, isn't it? Wasn't it? At the end, JB.
Yeah, it was, and I was thinking. You asked me earlier too, like what was the strategy? Go half and half and be
Yep.
safe, but
Yeah.
no. Actually, if I knew what I was talking about, go long, go to the death, burn your tires, like Matty said, take them to the canvas and bring it
For
home.
sure.
So
For sure.
what a race! That was fantastic. Yeah.
Great to watch. First of the Enduros in our ASRNZ 2024 GT3 series, 8 rounds. That was round 4. So first of the Enduros, we're at Zolder next week for a sprint round. Boys, thanks for joining me tonight in the comms box. It's been wonderful, awesome racing.
Thank you, Pappy. JB going to be joining us in Zolder in the comms box. It's a hell of a track. It's going to be a hell of a weekend. Yep. Fantastic. Looking forward to it.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Sounds like we got the crew back for next week, guys. We'll have to we'll wipe down the seats and change the really beer nuts and stuff, But everybody will be back here next week for round 5 at Zolder in the 2024 ASRNZ GT3 series. It's been a cracking night, everybody. Please, I'll repeat myself, like, subscribe, hit your notifications, do the stuff, get the algorithms working, and join us next week. That's all from us tonight. Thanks, boys. We'll see you all again next week.